Hey, it's Yolanda Shoshana, and this is Pop Witch, where I get into the latest in pop culture over a libation. Today's libation is coffee. It is early in the morning, and I am having a very delicious Kona blend. Oh, it's so good. If you've never had Kona coffee, it's a coffee from Hawaii. I highly recommend it. It's delicious. Treat your coffee like you would wine. You know, there are coffee sommeliers. The same like there are tea sommeliers if tea is your jam, but definitely if you are a coffee drinker, Kona. Now, I want to get into this Steve Harvey Monique situation. People have been talking about it all week. In case you don't know, Monique went on the Steve Harvey show to talk about being blackballed in Hollywood. I think it was a good conversation and something that should have happened years ago. But some people are being critical of Steve Harvey and saying that he was basically saying go for the money while Monique talked about integrity. So let's go back a little bit. In case you don't remember, Monique did a movie called Precious, which was directed by Lee Daniels. And she said no to some appearances because she wanted to be with her family. And she talked about getting paid for those appearances. And so it caused a little bit of a controversy. Then she won the Academy Award. And at that time, she won the award. She kind of threw shade in her speech. And then recently, not too long ago, she also said that Lee Daniels, Oprah, and Tyler Perry could, if she had a penis, they should suck her dick. She's also said some other controversial stuff along the way, and all that good stuff. So, and Steve and her talked about that. And his point was, this is a money's game. And you can't go in flexing, you got to go about it a different way. And then she brought up, well, before the money game, there is integrity. Now, I'm going to say this. I never thought I would be Team Steve on anything. I do not like Steve Harvey. And I have said this before. I don't even know why people go to him for love advice or any advice. But I agreed with him because everybody is acting so shocked that he said, well, not everybody. There's a lot of people acting so shocked that he said that to her and he is saying it's all about money. That is not what he said. And he did not tell her to not have integrity. He said to go about it a different way. He thinks she's going about it the wrong way. And I agree. Everybody knows that the money game is a different game. If you don't believe that, if you work for somebody, go to your boss and really tell them what you think and report back. Are you still going to have a job the next day? Probably not. The way that Monique goes about things at times is anger. She sounds angry a lot of times at the way she goes about things. And I honestly think that had she accepted the award and not thrown shade, she could have just went past that. She should have walked around the Oscar party like, see, take that. And that's the best way to show people, fuck you. She won. I still haven't seen Precious, and I'm sure it was great because she's very talented. But the way she does fuck you is actually literally telling people to fuck you in lots of different ways. She doesn't have to do that. Her talent speaks for itself. She could take the jobs that she wants. She doesn't have to lose her integrity by doing that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens next because Steve said he wanted to get certain people together in the room so that they could have a talk and to possibly apologize to her publicly. I'm not sure that's going to happen. I don't know if I see Oprah apologizing to Monique publicly because according to Monique, they said that she was right about, saying no and standing up to Hollywood. They allegedly said she was right, behind closed doors. And I think that's why Steve was also trying to point out, they said that she was right, but she didn't have to tell everybody what happened behind closed doors. His argument also was, hey, we're black. We can't walk around doing certain things. We have to be a particular way. I'm not understanding why certain people are acting like he's wrong about that. So there is a way to do things. There is a way to do things in Hollywood. We all know that Hollywood is shady. My question for you, though, too, for the people who are standing with Monique and saying she's right, it should be about integrity. Did you all boycott Netflix when she asked you to boycott Netflix? Probably not. You know, Steve brought that up too. He said he didn't understand the whole Netflix boycotting because she didn't give a point of action. Now, I think she wanted people to stop watching Netflix. I think a good thing that she could have done, she should have told us to blow up Netflix on social media and call them and say, we want that Monique comedy special. I think that would have been a good point of action. It would have been positive, and it would have shown Netflix that, hey, the fans want Netflix. Instead, people were like, I'm not giving up my Netflix for Monique, and people laughed at her. But had she said, why don't you call them and let them know that you want to see me, people happily would have done that. And that's a good point of action. And I think it would have gotten her my money. I agree with her. They didn't offer her enough money. At the same time, Netflix is all about who's going to bring them views. Everybody knows that. So I hope that she gets to work more, because I do think she's talented. I think she's beautiful. Another thing, though, this husband of hers being her manager, agent, it's time for her to go get a real manager and agent. He could be the consultant to her manager. How about that? I don't think her husband is making deals for her the right way. I get you want to keep it in the family and you want your boo to have your back, but it doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing. She needs somebody in there that's going to really go wheel and deal and point things out the proper way. Because right now, it does look like the two of them are being difficult. People don't want to deal with her husband. They want to deal with somebody from one of these agencies. They want to see that she's really serious about getting back in there. And by that, you need somebody from a William Morris to go in there and flex for you to say, my client ain't doing this unless you do X, Y, and Z. They don't want to see your husband, girl. They're not taking him seriously. Oh, Monique. If she could just get out of her own way, she could have a great comeback. We could see her in movies and we could see her really rock it out. I get it. She's mad that people threw her under the bus. She wanted them to stand up for her. But at the end of the day, the Oprahs, Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, Whoopi Goldberg, everybody else, they too have a career to protect. They don't want to be associated with somebody that seems difficult, because it does harm your career. Guilty by association. We all know that that is true. It's like people that were friendly with Harvey Weinstein, people that are friendly with Woody Allen, people that are friendly with all the predators and difficult people. People look at them with a side eye. Monique, I wish you the best. I wish everybody the best. But I will say once again, I actually agree with Steve Harvey. May never happen again. But the money game, the Hollywood game, is a different game. And you got to learn how to play the game to be in the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game, as they say. And it is a little bit like the house of cards. Who has the cards? That's unfortunate, but it's true. But Monique, when she gets more power, she'll be able to talk more shit. That's just the way it works. Until next time, y'all. Peace, love, and cheers.